Are you ready?
Welcome to Fit and Fabs. Time to educate your mind, empower your life, and elevate your soul. You'll find all this and more. Tune in weekly. Be limitless. Starting right now. And here is your host.
You couldn't be any more perfect for our talks.
Oh, good. Okay. Awesome.
So welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Now, Mark, tell me, what is FasterEFT and how did you first find out about it?
So FasterEFT, tapping. So tapping is a tool. It's a tool that you can either heal childhood traumas, like big traumas in your life, anything from traumas to improving your golf swing. So the way it works is you're tapping on points on your face and on your body. They're called meridian points. So tapping is really similar to acupuncture without the needles. So you're tapping on pressure points.
Okay.
Yeah. But
That makes a lot of sense when
Right.
you say that.
Yeah, right? But basically what we like to say in faster EFT tapping is it's a trance breaker. So what we do is we do different things, but we also change memories. We change traumatic memories. So we'll have somebody, let's say, go to a memory and we'll have them feel it and get into it and see it and hear it. And then when we tap, so when you're in a memory and you're feeling a certain way, and then when we tap, we're relaxing the amygdala and we're relaxing your body and we're breaking the trance of that memory. So whenever you're in a memory, you're in a trance. Whenever you leave this current moment, you're in a trance. When we tap, we break that trance. And if we do it over and over again, we can say if the memory is bothering you at a 10 level, we do it enough, we do certain things, certain tricks, certain ways to figure out the source of the problem. Then once we're done, we get it down to a 0. And then
Within the one session?
Usually, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long do they usually last?
So it depends. Like some memories go pretty fast. Some people have a lot of like neural pathways to a memory where they've practiced it a lot. They've thought about it a lot. And so it can be something that they have a lot of different aspects to the problem. So we can get one aspect of it down to a 0, and then your subconscious will bring another aspect, and then we tap that one down. So it depends on, how big the problem is and how much the person has practiced it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to go into doing this yourself?
Yeah. So I was always looking for, before I became a life coach, I was looking for tools on how to, how to work on thoughts and work on things, the kinds of thoughts that keep us stuck in our lives, and how to break that out. And so I've been studying all kinds of modalities, and I found EFT tapping. So EFT tapping is very similar, but it has more tapping points, and it has a different belief system.
Then which one?
Faster EFT tapping, or we call it also eutaptics.
Got it.
So that's created by Robert Smith.
Okay.
And he studied that, and he took some of the EFT tapping, he made it simpler. He studied the brain, and he studied neural pathways and how they work and how we make links when things happen to us, we link certain things. So we're basically breaking links and we're creating new links. So when we tap out a memory down to a 0 or a belief down to a 0, we change it into something positive, something you want to happen.
Okay. So then in that immediate session, you tap it out, and then do you fill it in with something positive?
We always want to say, okay, now it's a 0. What would you like to experience? What would you prefer to experience in that memory or in your life? Or what do you prefer to believe about yourself? Always make it positive. And then we encourage you to practice it. Practice it. That new story, write it down and practice it 3 to 5 times a day for a week.
The tapping.
No, the new story.
Oh, okay. Feeling it and being in that new story.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
So who would you say it's a great candidate for this type of tapping?
Everybody.
Well, I mean, sometimes I feel that people are just not open to different things. So how do you come about and how do you deal with those
I know. Well, it seems like very woo-woo and it seems like weird.
Right.
But when you explain that, it's basically how the brain works. I mean, neuroplasticians know how we make links in ourselves. And and the tapping and the way we break the links, it's very scientific actually, but you just kind of have to explain how it works. It just seems weird, but people know that acupuncture works. And again, it's just about trying to explain it and then have them try it. So that was my success in having people try it out. So I would say, here, tell me something that's bothering you. Come with me. I'll grab people. Let's go in the corner. You want to try it? And then we'll try it. And we'll tap for like a few minutes. Tell me something that's bothering you. And then after a few minutes, they're like, oh, I can't get it to bother me anymore. So it's just such a good tool for everybody. So I'm a life coach, and I, tap with my clients, and I help people who want help. But also we teach them how to tap on themselves. So we want to empower them. I tap all the time. So it's an amazing tool.
Did you tap today for this podcast?
I tapped, I did on the way over. I did. Yeah.
Now, when you first started doing the tapping system, this was how many years ago?
About 5 or 6 years ago.
So do you find that people are more accepting and more knowledgeable of this system now?
Yeah, it's getting more popular and more popular and bigger. Yeah. And also the tapping. So I'm a law of attraction coach and certified in that, and been studying that for over 35 years. And tapping, I believe, is the best way to allow the law of attraction to work in your lives. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, because you remove the blocks. Anything's blocking you from what you want, and so also the tapping. It's about the patterns that happen in our lives that repeat. And then we go to the source of those patterns and we change those, and then all of a sudden you're attracting better things, and you're having more positive patterns, the patterns that you want instead of the ones that you don't want.
Right. So then when you're helping people with these situations and with their life traumas, do they have to constantly be doing the tapping and working on themselves, or is there a point where you've been healed, quote unquote?
Great question. No, they have to work, because they can undo. Like in any modality, anything that you do, we can work on let's say a memory or something that's been, you can use it on weight loss, you can use it for relationships, anything. But let's say someone has and also pain. It works great with pain. But let's say somebody has a problem and we tap on it. We spend a good few sessions tapping on it and making peace with it. Well, if they go home and then they practice the negative things again in their thoughts, and they don't tap on themselves and they don't keep it up, and weeks and weeks and weeks go by and they don't have any other sessions, they can bring it back
to that.
Revert back, yeah.
So do you mind showing our audience here right now how it is that you would do a session?
Yeah.
Do you mind trying it out and
right.
we do something?
So this is just a demo. Like a session, we do an intake and we ask a whole bunch of questions in the beginning, and then we get into different memories and different things, and it can get deep. But for now, for this demo, let's say you're my client, or let's say we're doing a demonstration.
Right.
Think of something, Rosalidia, that bothers you.
Oh, okay. From other people or from myself?
It could be anything. Like it could be about today or about other people.
Okay. All right. Okay. Got it?
You got it?
Yes.
Okay. And also the cool thing is you don't even have to tell me. So you don't have to even tell me what it is.
Okay.
So
I wasn't planning on doing
Okay, good. I'll give you $5 if you tell me though. We can talk about it after. But okay, so you're like $5, right? Better come with more, buddy. Okay, so I would say really let it think about that problem. And if it's a memory, really step into it, see what you saw, feel what you felt, hear what you heard.
Okay, I'm there.
You're there right now. Mm-hmm. And I would say 0 to 10, how strong is it bothering you?
10.
I would say, okay, well, we'll just get to the tapping. There's deeper ways to do this, but for now, I would say, okay, just repeat after me and tap between your eyebrows.
All right.
And say, it's safe to let it go.
It's safe to let it go.
And then beside your eye, say, I let it go.
I let it go.
And under the eye, I let it go.
I let it go.
Under your on your collarbone, half an inch under your collarbone.
Oh, okay.
On both sides, you can do it right here. And say, it's safe to let it go.
It's safe to let it go.
Okay, grab your wrist. Breathe it out. Say peace.
Peace.
Okay. So just that aspect of you're in you're in the problem and it's a 10, and then when we're tapping, we go to the current time. You're breaking the trance and you're touching your body. So just by doing that, and we're saying, let it go, let it go. But in a session, I'll be saying different things to you, so that we're also working with your conscious mind. But most of this is subconscious work here. So then I would say, okay, now think about it again. How strong is it?
A 6?
Is it a 6
Yeah.
now? And then we would continue to tap.
And this was just from one little,
That was just one
few
round.
seconds of tapping.
Yeah.
It went from a 10 to a 6.
Yeah.
Do we
And
try it again?
Try it again. Try to let it bother you. Make it more than a 10,
Oh.
6.
Honestly, I can't anymore.
You can't.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we would continue until it's a 0. And
Okay.
again, I would say different things. And then we would have you make up a new story of what you would rather experience or feel or believe.
Filling in the vase of
Yeah,
what emptied
so
out.
I don't know what it bothers you. I don't know what it is that bothered you.
Can I tell you?
You can tell us, yeah. Yeah.
It's other people not being able to have, to commit
Oh,
to, they tell you something and then they just don't come through.
Right.
Or they don't have any pride in their work or their word or themselves.
perfect. So then in a real session, I would say, when has that happened to you in the past? You know, and we're trained to ask different questions to find out the source of that. So we get to the source of different other times that has happened to you. Because when we have things in our past that have happened to us and made, have hurt us or were traumatic to us, and if we don't heal those, they repeat in our lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I keep finding people.
That's it.
Because I need to heal that first.
Because you need to
Interesting.
heal.
So,
Yeah.
so basically, did we just go into the law of attraction where I haven't healed this part of myself where people have hurt me or bothered me, and therefore I'm attracting more individuals?
Yeah. So the law of attraction, you're right. The law of attraction is the foundation of this work. Is you're always attracting what you have inside, what you're holding inside, and what you think about, believe, and expect. You're attracting. So, yeah, and it becomes just an automatic thing. So if you have things in the past that have happened, then you're going to attract people who don't follow through and don't commit. and
Whoa.
yeah.
We need to get to our session, Mark.
Let's do it.
So you mentioned hypnosis as part of the tapping process. What role does that play?
So again, if I'm talking to you now and I say, remember that, Rosalidia, you told me about this memory that happened to you 12 years ago. Go into that and experience that. When you go into that memory, you're in a trance. So we're in trances all the time.
Interesting.
Whenever you leave the current moment right now, you go into a trance.
And it's just a thought.
It's a thought.
So I know a lot of people that are freaked out when they hear the word hypnosis.
Right. So
It's that they feel they put you to sleep and you go and you're just, the person's able to do whatever they want with you type of thing.
yeah, so we're using aspects of hypnosis. We're not necessarily we're not hypnotized. So Robert Smith has, combined it with EFT tapping, hypnosis, law of attraction things, and other modalities, and he put it all together to make faster EFT tapping. So we're breaking the trance. So that's the part of the hypnosis.
Got it.
And we also say hypnotic words, and we have suggestive words while we're tapping.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Now, I know you also have your own podcast.
Right.
So can you plug that in so we can get hooked onto all this greatness that you talk about?
That's right.
And
So-
where else we can find you? Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah. So the podcast is called the Tap It Out podcast with Mark Shihadeh, but the Tap It Out podcast. So that combines tapping and the law of attraction. So I think these two are the most powerful tools in the world to create the life that you want. And tapping, law of attraction, people know that. Tapping is a lesser known tool. So Tap It Out podcast, you can find it on any podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's in Google Podcasts, it's in Podbean. And then same thing, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. On Instagram, if you search for Mark Shihadeh, life coach, you should find me.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So here you have it, everybody. You've been wanting to have that great life. Now go check out Mark's
You
podcast,
gotta
which is
do it.
called again,
The Tap It Out podcast.
The Tap It Out
I also have a Facebook group called Tap It Out.
Whoa, all
Facebook
right.
group. Yeah.
Let's start tapping out all these things that no longer belong in our lives to keep attracting more of the greatness.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you, Rosalidia.
Be sure to tune in next week for more fabulous stories and interviews. Share comments and submit questions for our upcoming guests on our website at fitandfabs.com.
And today's episode was brought to you by Vitalent. You can find them at vitalent.org and Win Nail Spa at winnailspa.com.